Okay, so by now, I know we're all aware of the definitive edition of Sonic Frontiers that recently got rated in Korea like 24 hours ago. And for the past 24 hours, the only thing that comes to my mind is why? Now, don't get me wrong, Sonic Frontiers, it's got more flaws than my right ballsack, but it's still a game I enjoy quite a fair bit. I'm only asking why though, because the game isn't even 5 years old yet, and it's already getting a re-release. Not just a re-release, a definitive one. Now, I expect a re-release whenever a new console comes out, and this definitive edition is probably going to get a Switch 2 variant at launch, but that can't be it though, because the game's being labelled as a definitive edition. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've got no flow, I've got no form factor for this type of video. I'm literally sat in my car 30 minutes before I have to go to work, just waffling about this fucking game. The reason why I am stuck with this fucking game is because I have no idea what it's gonna be about. So, what's gonna make it definitive? Are they gonna just simply update the textures? Higher resolution maybe, even though I'm pretty sure the game already ran at 4K. Also, up the frame rate. But if that's all they're gonna do, that makes me think, why? How does that warrant a re-release? That would be pushed out via an update to the base game, surely. And then I think, well, no, they're gonna re-release the game. Surely they're gonna add more to it if it's not just gonna be an expansion to the base game, which is already available to all current platforms. And then I think, well, no, that can't be the case, because they've also got the new game coming soon. So anything that they could add to Frontiers, why would they? They should be using that for the new game. And then I'm back at the point where I'm like, why are we bothering then if it's just going to be the simplest of shit? It's so jarring, man. Because all we have to go off this game so far is that it's a definitive edition. Like, it's so weird, man. Look, with the previous games like Origins Plus, I already knew roughly what to expect. More games. Maybe an extra playable character. You know, shit that the Plus for Mania got. But for Frontiers, brother, I've got no fucking clue. Honestly, it's the main reason I'm even talking about this. With the other expansions to the previous games, I didn't bother talking about them, because going into it, I already knew what to expect. Well, I kind of knew what to expect. But this is a brain scratcher for me. I don't know. And that's fucking funny. I have no idea. And honestly, that's what kind of gets me excited, but also not. Like, don't get me wrong. I am going to laugh my ass off if Sonic Frontiers becomes The Last of Us for the Sonic series, where it just constantly gets remastered over and over and over again. That would be funny. Now, if you log on to the herpes of social media, aka Twitter, as in, you know, you try and get rid of it, but it's not happening. You're stuck with it. Deal with it. You see people posting their speculations of what it's going to have. You know, people are saying, oh, beta content's going to get restored. Maybe some fixed animation, some physics tweaks, some new models. And I'm like, brother, you are setting yourself up for disappointment. At the end of the day, I really do think this is just going to be an excuse to get a Switch release. Maybe they'll do the bare minimum for other consoles. You know, higher quality textures, maybe 120 FPS, because that's definitely possible with modern hardware. But that's really all I can see happening. I don't expect anything more than that. people saying, this is where the new models are gonna come into place. We don't even know that's gonna happen, by the way. Like, people have been saying that since, I think, update 3 dropped for Frontiers a few years back. And, like, we've had no proof that we're gonna get new models. Like, stop going into it. Stop thinking you're gonna get new models, by the way. I know I'm changing the topic here. Stop thinking you're gonna get new models. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If you go in expecting to get new models, you are going to be even more disappointed. Like, just let it happen. Just let it happen. You can criticize them. You can want new models. But if you go in thinking, oh, they're 100% going to do it, that's on you. Now, if all that were to happen, yeah, I'd be on board for it. I will gladly double dip and get the game again just for all that. But I don't think it's realistic. Remember, they have the upcoming game to work on. Now, I do agree with what some people are saying. This could very well be a holdover title until the new game comes out. Because the new game is not going to come out this year. It might get teased this year for the anniversary, but it's definitely not releasing. But then I go back to square one, where if you're going to have Frontiers be a holdover title, you need to give us a fucking reason to get it again. Like, Colors Ultimate, as flawed as it was, it made sense why people would get it despite it not being good. Because until then, Colors was stuck on the Wii. It was stuck on the Wii for, I think, Ultimate came out in 2021. So 11 years. Yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense why Colors Ultimate was a holdover title until Frontiers eventually dropped a year later, because people finally got to re-experience Colors again after being stuck on the Wii, or if they have access to a PC emulating it. But here, you can easily play Frontiers. Most people have a console now that's capable of running a game. So, if you're going to re-release it, you need to give us a reason to double dip. Especially if you want this to be the game that holds us over until you release the new one. Anyway, that's about it. Just wanted to ramble on for a little bit about the definitive edition of Sonic Frontiers, because I thought it'd be pretty interesting. Anyways, I gotta get to work within the next 10 minutes, otherwise my ass is fired. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all whenever I next upload.